So at 6:35, we have a public hearing for a site plan review for Cornerstone Bank at 200 Charlton Road. The applicant is requesting site plan approval to allow the demolition of existing drive-through ATM and telewindow facility to replace with ITMs and a new canopy at the rear of the building. Following that, we'll have the town planner update, then old and new business, then adjournment. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of October 10th? Yes. Any questions, comments? There was one thing I meant to tell you earlier. I think Leach is L-E-A-C-H, where we have leach fields. Is that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I meant to tell you that before. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up now. But anyway, we'll just correct that spelling because we have it a few places. And I have nothing else. So motion to approve as
So moved.
second.
Sorry, I missed that. Who? Okay.
Okay, Wally made the motion and Dane seconded it, I believe. And Brad, we're approving the minutes of October 10th.
Okay. Yep.
Do you have any questions or comments on it?
No.
Great. All in favor? Perfect. Very good. And it's not quite 6:30. Do you want to start on your report?
Sure. Just an update on the last meeting. We were supposed to have an A&R, and as it turns out, there was a plan recorded in 1997, so that A&R will not be coming forward. It was just never combined on the town's records. So that issue has been corrected. So that will not be coming before you. And then, I guess just a really quick thing I can do before the public hearing is Escape the Pike, which is the game room at 179 Main Street. They are actually expanding, so Max Nutrition has left, so their space became available. That was 1,100 additional square feet. So when this project was initially approved, they were hoping to have 7 games. They never quite fit it in. They had 5, so this will actually allow them to add 3 additional games. So there'll be 1 over what they had hoped for initially. So it's nice to see the space filled so quickly after somebody moving out. So they will be getting the necessary building and fire permits and getting that up and running soon.
Right, and there was ample parking, so there was no reason for
There
any
is.
kind of a waiver or anything like that.
Yeah.
It currently complies with the site plan. Great, very good.
All right, and then I don't have too much more. At an upcoming meeting, probably in November or December, you'll likely see members of the Historic Commission. Oh, we actually have 2 on this board. So Wally and Charlie are both on the Historic Commission, and we've recently finished the preservation plan, so we will be getting copies for all of you. And the commission, or some members of the commission, will be coming in and talking about the outcome of that plan, the findings. And then we're also working with Jennifer Doherty from Mass Historic Commission to develop an action plan to implement the preservation plan. So we'll be giving everybody an overview of that. We'll be talking about that at our upcoming Historic Commission meeting next week.
Good. And one of the big reasons, for doing that plan was so that boards and committees like the planning board would be aware of these historical assets, so that if things came up that, could impact it, at least there'd be that recognition that we have a plan and there are things the town would like to preserve. So hopefully it'll be worthwhile.
And Charlie, when is that Historic Commission meeting next week?
Well, we have one,
The
the
26th.
26th, right, at 10 o'clock to go over our
Oh, that's
final
this
plan.
week.
That's this week.
This
That's this week.
Thursday.
I am
This Thursday,
I am a
10.
little
am by.
discombobulated with my
Yes.
calendar in my head this week, so yes, it's this week.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the very last thing that I have, I think I still have time, is just a reminder that in November, as of right now, we only have November 21st, and we'll have the continuation of the public hearing for the solar project that evening. So mark your calendars. It looks like we may still be over here, even though we continued it for the center office building, so we may have to repost and have it over here. They still seem to be having issues with our audio-visual equipment in the center office building with no ETA on completion or correction of that.
Wow, that's too bad.
So we'll be over here.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jean. And so it is 6:35, we have the public hearing announcement.
Yes, we do.
19 it is.
19. In accordance with the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 11, the Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 24th, 2023, at 6:35 PM in Town Hall, located on Main Street in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, or by virtual means if circumstances warrant, in accordance with applicable law on the application of Cornerstone Bank for the property located at 200 Charlton Road. The applicant requests site plan approval as required by the Sturbridge zoning bylaw, Article 19, site plan review to allow the demolition of the existing drive-through ATM and teller window facility to be replaced with ITMs and a new canopy. The proposal includes removing pavement in order to promote landscape islands and a decrease in impervious area, along with related site improvements at 200 Charlton Road, Sturbridge, as shown on the plans and materials submitted. A copy of the site plan and application can be inspected on the Sturbridge Town website at sturbridge.gov/planningboard/pages/recent filings, or arrangements can be made to view the applicant packet by contacting the Sturbridge Planning Department at 508-347-2508 or by email at jlacy@sturbridge.gov. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted in person and may be conducted via remote means if circumstances warrant, in accordance with applicable law. This means that members of the public body, as well as members of the public, may access this meeting in person or via virtual means at global.gotomeeting.com. Join 472675-877. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting.
Very good, thank you very much. Jean, do you have anything, introduction, or?
Yes. So with us this evening, we have James Bernardino from CMG. He's the engineer on the project, and Arthur Bro and Kevin St. Pierre from Cornerstone Bank. By way of background, staff started working with the applicant on this project back in the summer. We met to review some conceptual plans. We provided some input about some minor modifications regarding traffic flow and directional arrows and landscaping. The project has been reviewed by all staff. No major concerns were noted. The Conservation Commission has already approved the project, as has the Design Review Committee. The project will result in a net decrease in impervious area and has added additional landscaping. We are recommending approval with conditions. And with that, I'll turn it over to the applicant to give his presentation.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. For the record, Jim Bernardino with CMG Engineering, with our offices here on Hall Road in Sturbridge. I believe everybody's probably familiar. We're at 200 Charlton Road. We're the Cornerstone Bank. This is just a copy of the survey that's up on the screen right now with some bold lines, just to get everybody acclimated to the general project locus. Obviously, we have the primary building with our two access drives here. On the side of the building, we have two drive-up ATMs that are there, and that is sheltered by a canopy. Right now, site circulation comes in the site. We have two-way circulation here. We have one-way circulation coming out for the ATM, but we also have in and out as well. So there's a little cumbersome circulation throughout the site. And that was one of the comments that we worked with staff during our initial review. But the proposal is to relocate, take this away, relocate it to the back of the property. I'll show it on one of the next slides. We're still going to maintain a nighttime drop-off here for a secure after-hours, night managers dropping their cash off. But for the day-to-day ATM drive-up operations, it'll all be in the facility at the back. This is just a demolition plan that I highlighted real quick. As Jean did mention, the redevelopment will result in a net decrease of just over 2,000 square feet of impervious area. So we created a demolition plan that showed the limits of excavation, the limit of pavement removal that'll be happening, just so you can get an idea of The pavement, some of this pavement is going to be replaced just to allow for new curb lines and the construction. But ultimately, we have a limited work scope within the project locus. The overall site plan, as I mentioned before, demolishes the existing canopy. We will provide a new canopy 28 by 40 that'll house 2 ITM machines. It's the interactive. You'll be able to get a live customer service rep to help you with your transactions, as well as just a standalone ATM. So that'll be disconnected from the building. As we mentioned, we reconfigured the driveway circulation so that we're going to maintain the driveway to the nighttime drop-off, but we're going to have also 2 lanes of traffic coming out of the site with a dedicated exit only. So right now, with the modification to the site circulation, we'll have 2-way traffic around the back of the building. Everywhere from the west side of the building over will be basically 1-way pointed out. We have noted the existing location here, but what we're showing on the site plan, which is not part of your approval, but we wanted to make sure we were coordinated with the intersection studies and improvements that are being contemplated for the Noble project directly across the street. So the existing driveway is here, but the proposed modification to the light is here. So it's slightly shifted. Obviously, we have a big caveat, not part of this project, coordinate with the other engineers, but we want to make sure that, you know, everyone's aware that we are accommodating and in communications with the traffic consultant that is working on that. So obviously, when you come in, we're going to have appropriate signage, do not enter, so any traffic coming in the site, whether it's the new driveway, the existing driveway or the new one, will be directed around the building counterclockwise. As we mentioned before, it is a reduction in impervious area. So there's no drainage improvements being proposed, but we have gone through a comprehensive coordination with staff to promote some additional landscaping, even above and beyond what we initially contemplated. We do have a landscaping plan. I'm lucky. It's right there. So basically what we did was we were able to introduce a large landscaping island. So as you come in, you'll be able to have a corridor effect with some shade trees, plantings, and the like. Originally, we didn't have this landscape island over here. We kind of maintained the existing parking configuration. However, in speaking with the staff, Conservation Commission, they like to see us incorporate as much landscaping as possible. So we opted to add this landscape area here, provide a couple extra trees and plantings, as well as a couple of other trees, shade trees along the entrance road to give a little more corridor effect, or a boulevard effect with some plantings. And the rest of the site is very well landscaped. We're not showing all the existing landscaping, but some of the initial comments were, let's add some trees down here, but those trees are massive 30-inch pine trees that are 100 feet tall. So we're opted to maintain all of that existing vegetation on site and just enhance it where we're making those impacts. So long story short, there's no other impacts for public utilities. We're going to be pulling power and telecommunications off the existing building. So there's really no street work that'll have to be for any utility work. We are not increasing the intensity. We're not just anticipating any traffic impacts. We were 2 ATMs, so it's kind of a nice even swap. As Gene did mention, we have gone through the Conservation Commission, so we are expecting a negative determination on our request for determination of applicability that was filed. This is a 200-foot local buffer. Most of our work was out of that, with just some minor work for the landscaping. So they did vote to approve or issue a negative determination. So I haven't seen paperwork on that, but I'm sure it's on the way. With that, that was kind of the general overview. I know it's pretty straightforward, so I won't take up too much of your time with details that may not be of interest to anybody. So with that, I'll turn it over to the board for any questions.
All right, let's see if we have any questions. Dane, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not.
All set, thank you.
Sue?
All set?
So you said
you're pulling utilities, the electric off the main building. Are you keeping any kind of pneumatic system for?
No pneumatic, this is all gonna be data, so we're not gonna have any suction tubes going back and forth. That is a thing of the past, that's why we're
I figured as
going
much.
high-tech now.
Sounds good.
So you may have a little bit of a lag and some flashing, but no pneumatic tubes.
I haven't used one yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After 3 or 4 times, I'll get used to it, but anyway. Brad, any?
None for me, no.
Okay, this is a public hearing. We don't have too many members of the public here, but they don't have an opportunity to call in. Do we check to see if anyone's calling in? No.
No.
Okay, great. So it looks like that's it. Could we have a motion then to close the public hearing? So moved.
A second.
Wally, any discussion? All in favor? Very good. So Jean, do we have a motion that you would like to have us?
Yes. The motion would be to approve the site plan approval as requested by Cornerstone Bank for a property located at 200 Charlton Road in accordance with the plans and supplemental materials submitted with the following conditions. 1, all site improvements shall be in conformance with the plans and specifications submitted and approved by the planning board. 2, all state and local zoning bylaws, building codes, and regulations must be adhered to. 3, all other necessary permits must be obtained prior to the start of construction. 4, the site shall be kept in a neat and orderly condition throughout the construction process. 5, exterior construction shall only occur during the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to noon on Saturday. No exterior construction shall occur on Sundays or the following holidays: New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. 6, an emergency contact phone list with at least 2 names and numbers on it shall be supplied to the Sturbridge Police Department and Planning Department to be used by the dispatchers in case of an off-hour emergency prior to the start of the project. The list must be updated whenever necessary for the duration of the project. And I must add a 7, I forgot, as-built shall be provided when the project is complete.
Very good, thank you. Would someone like to make that motion?
So moved.
Dane?
Second.
Second, Sue. Any discussion? All in favor? Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Good
all.
luck with it, guys. Thank you. Okay, next we have old and new business. I'll start at this end. Dave, any old and new business?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Old and new business? Any,
No, not at this
Brad,
time.
anything?
I'm curious about, just for the public's knowledge, about the opening of Nardelli's, the Mexican restaurant. What's going on with the Brazilian market?
So I have no information on the Brazilian market. I reached out to the potential, I guess, new owner. None of us have heard anything back. So I can't give you any more information on that. As far as the Noble project, there was some chatter on Facebook that Nardelli's has pulled out. None of that, to the best of my knowledge, is true. We are still waiting for approvals from Mass DOT so that they may open. Noble, the Nardelli's, is actually a Connecticut franchise that works with Noble and are in all of their facilities, as is the Frisbee Ice Cream. So I expect all the tenants to remain the same once they are able to open. I did see all of that on Facebook. And the Mexican restaurant, he's still working away, so we do expect that to open.
Any expectation as to when the state will approve the opening for Noble?
The last communication I had, which was 2 weeks ago, they were getting very close. They had submitted some updated information to the state to review, and they paid their appropriate fee, so we should be in pretty good shape at this point.
And just, is there any way that our economic development person could assist with the moving forward with these different projects?
No.
Assist the owners?
Not with Mass DOT, so that's more kind of my area, and the DPW director and town administrator.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
They
he
certainly
has,
have put a lot of effort in to keep this thing moving the
I
way it
know they
was. It's
have.
been very
I'm just
frustrating.
wondering.
yeah, no, we've worked as hard as we can
I know.
for millions of hours, it seems. And I will say the economic development coordinator has been reaching out to them in other ways to offer his support. In fact, should be an article coming out today in the Business West magazine that's featuring projects in Sturbridge, and Noble Energy is one featured. And the interview was with Terry and Robin a couple of weeks ago. And I know he does reach out to make sure there's, nothing else that he can do to help. It's really just a waiting game at this point.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Wally, anything?
No, I'm all set there.
Similar, just down the street from Noble, across from Cracker Barrel and Wendy's. Is there any news about that development?
So my understanding, and actually I am going to email the attorney this week, so I was just approached by somebody on Monday, said that they were looking to purchase the property. So it's obviously back on the market, so I don't know if the owners didn't choose to extend the option with Allrig, or if Allrig decided to step out, because their time period was expiring. So I'm not sure on whose decision it was to not continue with the agreement. I can tell you that I'm letting every prospective purchaser that comes in the office know about the situation and what the background was with Allrig, because they had spent a lot of money as well on engineering already, so.
All right. I guess one last question is the empty lot next to Panera. I know there was a tenant that had pulled out of that.
Nothing new
Okay.
at this time.
All right, my final comment is these public notices that we read are comically long. Do they really need to be that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got worse since COVID with giving the virtual option.
Right?
So it
That's
added a
probably the
whole
thing
new
that adds the
paragraph.
most. Is that,
But it really has to state the nature of the application or relief requested, sufficient so that the reader can understand what they're asking for. It also has to state the time, place, and location of the public hearing. So yes, they are extremely long, but I attribute most of that to that last two paragraphs.
maybe we could take a look at that, though, because some of those things like the phone number and stuff like that, I mean,
The URL you read out, it's like, are we exceeding the minimums, or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
we could maybe take another look
Or
at it.
is it possible that they get published, but maybe we don't have to read that entire part into the record because it's not entirely pertinent to the project specific?
Yeah.
I just feel bad, when you have to read these things, they go on and on, and like,
Yeah.
I assume it's boilerplate that a lawyer advised at this
It
point,
is.
it's probably just,
Yeah, and it was also at the beginning when most of it was virtual, and of course, that really became a big thing, like
Right.
people, that was the only way to get, the information, so we can take another look at it, but as Gene said, that is what's required,
Yeah.
but maybe we could clean that out.
I've looked at it a bit. Believe it or not, we have shortened it slightly. Sometimes I just feel like we should take it off. And then the couple of times where I've taken it off, because all the applicants were going to be present, I'd maybe have a board member call and say, oh, I've been in contact with somebody, or I'm ill, and I can't come in, but I can gladly participate. So I'm hesitant to take it off while the remote option is still there. I'll look at it again, but
Yeah,
is it a thing to keep it as part of the published actual notice and
It
not
is.
read the entire thing when we're
oh, and
here?
not read the entire
I mean,
thing?
just the two,
The two last paragraphs?
yeah,
that's a
maybe.
possibility.
Yeah, maybe just read the first three,
Yeah.
and then just say,
That part's relevant to the application in front of us,
Exactly.
which is part of why we're reading it
and
into the
then just maybe
record.
say a virtual option was provided in the
Exactly,
notice.
yeah. we
There
would
you
have
go.
to-
Something like that.
I think that makes sense.
Maybe we could make Sue a cleaner version that she can read that doesn't contain those last
I think
two
Sue does a
paragraphs.
great job. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
feel like they're a little wordy.
It's a lot.
Write it down.
That's a good point, though, and I
It
think you're
is.
right. I mean, really, we're using it as sort of a limited basis for the virtual. It's not such a big thing that half the town's looking at maybe coming in, so maybe we could do that. Good suggestion, thank you. Okay, anything else? Guess we're all set for a motion to adjourn then?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Very good. Have a great evening.
Yes, you too.
Thank you all.